Welcome back to Grammar Grade 7. This is Unit 12, Lesson 66, and we're staying with the comma, the busiest little mark in punctuation. In our last lesson, we used commas to set things off. Today we use them to join and to introduce. First, a comma before the joining word in a compound sentence. And second, a comma after an adverb clause that opens the sentence. Two clear rules and a couple of traps to dodge along the way. Let's take a look. Before we jump in, here's the plan. Today the comma does two jobs. First, it goes before a joining word like and, but, or so, when that word links two main clauses into one compound sentence. Second, it goes after an adverb clause that opens a sentence. And along the way, we'll learn to dodge two traps that trip up a lot of writers. Two rules, two traps. Let's meet them one at a time. Here's our first rule, and it's a big one. When you join two complete sentences into one, you put a comma before the joining word. Watch. The sky darkened and the wind picked up. Look at each side of that word, and. On the left, the sky darkened could stand on its own as a full sentence. On the right, the wind picked up could stand on its own too. Two complete sentences joined by and into a single compound sentence. Because a full clause sits on each side, we drop a comma right before the joining word. Now here's the trap it catches everyone. Sometimes a sentence has two verbs but only one subject, and that is not a compound sentence. Look at this. The kitten stretched and yawned. There's just one subject here, the kitten, and it does two things, stretched and yawned. That's called a compound predicate, and it does not take a comma. Since there's just one subject, we do not put a comma before and. Here's a simple test that settles it every time. Look at what follows the joining word. If a full sentence follows, you have a compound sentence, and it takes a comma. If only a verb follows, you have a compound predicate, and it takes none. Compare these two. We can bake bread, or we can buy it. After or we can buy it is a complete sentence, so a comma goes in. Now the second one. We can bake bread or buy it. After or, there's only the verb buy, no new subject, so no comma. Same beginning, but that little test tells you exactly what to do. Now our second rule, and it brings back a friend from an earlier lesson, the adverb clause. Remember, an adverb clause is a group of words that starts with a word like when, because, after, or although, and it can't stand alone. When that clause comes first and opens the sentence, you follow it with a comma. Listen. Because the road was icy, the buses ran late. The clause because the road was icy sets the scene, and the comma marks exactly where that opener ends and the main idea begins. Clause up front, comma next. But watch what happens when we flip the sentence around. The buses ran late because the road was icy. Now the main idea leads and the adverb clause trails behind it. When the clause comes at the end like this, you usually do not need a comma at all. It's the very same two ideas, just reordered, but the punctuation changes with the order. Clause in front takes a comma. Clause at the end takes none. Let's pull today's rules into one quick check. First, are two full clauses joined by and, but, or so? If yes, put a comma before that joining word. Second, careful now. Is it just one subject with two verbs, a compound predicate? Then use no comma. Third, does an adverb clause open the sentence? If it does, follow it with a comma. Notice the thread running through all of it. You're always checking whether a full clause is involved. Ready to practice a few together? Time to practice. In this first set, I'll read a sentence, and you decide whether it needs a comma before the joining word. Watch for the trap. 2 full clauses take a comma, but one subject with 2 verbs does not. Pause and decide before I reveal each answer. The team practiced all week, and they won the final. Does this need a comma? Look at each side of and. The team practiced all week is a full sentence, and they won the final is a full sentence too. 2 complete clauses joined by and make a compound sentence, so a comma goes before and. So the answer is, the team practiced all week, comma, and they won the final. Noah opened the box and pulled out a kite. Careful with this one. What comes after and? Pulled out a kite, which has no subject of its own and cannot stand alone. There's only one subject here, Noah, doing 2 things. That's a compound predicate, not a compound sentence, so it takes no comma. So the answer is, Noah opened the box and pulled out a kite, with no comma at all. When the movie ended, the crowd clapped. Where does the comma go? The sentence opens with the adverb clause, when the movie ended, and an adverb clause that leads the sentence is always followed by a comma. So the answer is, when the movie ended, comma, the crowd clapped. In this second set, each sentence is punctuated correctly. Your job is to name the reason. Is it a compound sentence, a compound predicate, or a leading adverb clause? Pause and choose before I answer. After we ate lunch, we washed the dishes. Why is that comma there? The sentence opens with the adverb clause, after we ate lunch, and a clause that leads the sentence gets a comma right after it. So the answer is a leading adverb clause. The wind howled, but the tent held firm. Why the comma? The wind howled is a full sentence, and the tent held firm is a full sentence, joined by but. 2 complete clauses make a compound sentence, so the comma sits before but. So the answer is a compound sentence. The chef chopped the onions and stirred the soup. Notice there's no comma here. Why not? There's a single subject, the chef, doing 2 actions, chopped and stirred. That's a compound predicate, one subject with 2 verbs, so no comma is needed. So the answer is a compound predicate. Let's gather up what we learned. When a coordinating conjunction like and, but, or so joins 2 full clauses, you put a comma before it, making a compound sentence. But when a single subject simply does 2 things, that's a compound predicate, and it takes no comma. And when an adverb clause opens the sentence, you follow it with a comma. When that same clause trails at the end, you usually need none. Every rule today came down to one question. Is there a full clause? Wonderful work in Unit 12, Lesson 66. I'll see you in the next lesson.